Captain Marcus Vale adjusted his ceremonial uniform one final time as the alien ships descended from Xerian's crimson sky. The desert winds whipped sand across the landing platform where humanity's greatest diplomatic moment was about to unfold. After decades of isolation, the Zephyrian Empire had finally agreed to meet with Earth's representatives. Marcus stood at attention beside Ambassador Chen, his eyes scanning the horizon for threats. His military training never left him, even during peaceful missions. The Zephyrian vessels landed with ethereal grace, their crystalline hulls gleaming like captured starlight. Princess Nyla emerged first, and Marcus felt his breath catch. She was nothing like the descriptions in their briefings. Tall and elegant. With luminescent blue skin that seemed to pulse with inner light, she moved with fluid grace. Her silver hair flowed like liquid metal, and her violet eyes held ancient wisdom. She wore robes that shifted color like aurora borealis. The ceremony proceeded smoothly until the traditional exchange of gifts. As Princess Nyla reached for the ceremonial earth flower, the sand beneath her feet exploded upward. A massive sand viper, native to Xerian's deadliest regions, launched itself at her throat. Its fangs dripped with venom that could kill in minutes. Marcus didn't think. He threw himself forward, catching the princess around the waist and spinning her away from danger. The serpent's fangs sank deep into his shoulder instead, piercing through his uniform and into flesh. Fire raced through his veins as the creature's poison spread. Zephyrian guards killed the beast instantly, but damage was done. Marcus collapsed to his knees as darkness crept into his vision. The venom was already reaching his heart, shutting down his nervous system. "Let me help him," Princess Nyla cried, kneeling beside Marcus as medics rushed forward. "There is no help," the Zephyrian healer declared grimly. "Sand viper venom has no cure. He has minutes at most." But as Marcus felt consciousness slipping away, he saw something in Nyla's eyes that defied the healer's words. Determination, hope, love for a stranger who had saved her life. "I refuse to let you die," she whispered, her cool hand touching his burning forehead. "Not when you saved mine." Marcus tried to speak, to tell her it was worth it, but darkness claimed him as her face became the last thing he saw. The ancient remedy Princess Nyla caught Marcus as he collapsed, his body growing cold despite Xerian's blazing heat. His pulse fluttered like a dying bird beneath her fingers. Everyone around them spoke of acceptance, of honorable death. But Nyla had spent years studying forbidden texts in the palace archives. "Stand aside," she commanded, her royal authority cutting through the chaos. "I know of an ancient way," her guards protested as she lifted Marcus in her arms. His dead weight should have been impossible for her to carry, but adrenaline and desperation gave her strength. She ran toward the crystalline caves beneath Xerian's surface, places forbidden to all but the royal bloodline. The caves pulsed with bioluminescent energy, crystals that had grown for millennia in perfect darkness. Nyla placed Marcus on the altar at the chamber's heart, where healing ceremonies once saved the dying. But this ritual required a price no one had paid in centuries. Ancient healer Zoran materialized from the shadows, his aged form bent with wisdom and sorrow. "Princess, you know the cost of this magic. It will drain your life force into his." "You may not survive." "Then I won't survive," Nyla replied, without hesitation. "He saved my life. I can do no less." She placed her hands on Marcus's chest, feeling his heart's irregular rhythm. The healing crystals responded to her touch, casting rainbow light across their faces. Power flowed between them, a connection deeper than friendship, stronger than gratitude. Marcus's eyes fluttered open as warmth returned to his limbs. The first thing he saw was Nyla's face, now pale with exhaustion, her luminescent skin dimmed from the energy transfer. She swayed above him, nearly fainting from the effort. "Why?" he whispered, catching her hand as she stumbled. "Because you didn't hesitate to save me," she breathed. "A stranger from another world, yet you risked everything. Could I do less?" Their eyes met in the crystal light, and something passed between them that had nothing to do with healing magic. Marcus felt it in his chest, a warmth that had nothing to do with returning health. Nyla's violet eyes reflected the same wonder, the same impossible recognition. "I feel like I've known you forever," Marcus confessed. Perhaps we have, Nyla replied softly. Perhaps across all the stars and lifetimes, souls recognize each other. She helped him sit up, their faces inches apart in the crystal glow. Time seemed suspended as they breathed the same air, sharing the same impossible moment of connection. Marcus recovered in Nyla's private chambers, surrounded by impossible beauty. The walls were living crystal that sang soft melodies, and gardens of luminescent flowers created a paradise that defied Zirian's harsh surface. But the most beautiful thing was Nyla herself, who visited him each day as he healed. They talked for hours about their worlds, their dreams, their fears. Marcus learned that Nyla was more than royalty. She was a scholar, a healer, a woman who questioned the rigid traditions of her people. Nyla discovered that Marcus was more than a soldier. He was a poet who wrote verses about distant stars, a man who believed in hope despite a lifetime of war. Your skin feels warm, Nyla observed one evening as she checked his healing wound. Her fingers lingered on his shoulder longer than necessary. Your touch feels like starlight, Marcus replied, covering her hand with his own. They were sitting, too close, sharing breath in the candlelit chamber. The cultural barrier between them felt meaningless compared to the connection that grew stronger each day. When Nyla leaned forward to examine his shoulder, her hair brushed his cheek like silk. Nyla, he whispered her name like a prayer. She looked up, their faces inches apart. Marcus, she breathed back. The kiss happened naturally, inevitably, like two stars, finally finding their orbit. Soft at first, then deeper as months of unspoken longing poured between them. Her skin was cool silk beneath his hands, its warmth spreading through her like captured sunlight. They broke apart, breathing hard, foreheads touching. This is forbidden, Nyla whispered, but she didn't pull away. Then why does it feel like the most right thing in the universe? Marcus asked, stroking her silver hair. Their second kiss was interrupted by harsh voices in the corridor. Council Elder Voss stormed in with armed guards, his face twisted with rage. Abomination, he roared. Princess, you disgrace your bloodline. Consorting with this alien creature? Marcus saved my life, Nyla said, moving protectively in front of him. He is a hero, not a creature. He is contamination, Voss spat. And you are a fool, blinded by alien poison. Guards separate them immediately. The human returns to his ship at dawn. As the guards moved forward, Marcus stood despite his weakness. I won't be separated from her. You have no choice, Voss sneered. Love between species is punishable by death in our law. But Nyla stepped forward, royal power radiating from her like heat. Then change the law, or face a princess who refuses. To obey, the trial of hearts. The great tribunal hall had never seen such controversy. Thousands of Zephyrians filled the crystal galleries, their voices creating a symphony of outrage and curiosity. Princess Nyla stood beside Marcus before the Council of Elders, their hands clasped, despite the chains binding their wrists. You stand accused of corrupting our royal bloodline, Elder Voss announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. The penalty is exile for the princess and death for the alien. I stand accused of love, Nyla replied defiantly.
That is
corruption, then I am guilty. The crowd's murmur rose like thunder. Some called for mercy, others for tradition. Marcus squeezed Nyla's hand, drawing strength from her courage. However, Elder Voss continued with a cruel smile. Our law provides one escape. If the alien can prove his worth through the 3 trials of Zarian, both may live. But failure means death for both. Marcus stepped forward. I accept. The first trial was combat against Zirian's deadliest predator, a crystal scorpion the size of a transport ship. Marcus had only his wits and a ceremonial blade. The creature's tail moved like lightning, its venom able to melt steel. Marcus had learned patience from Nyla, strategy from desperation. He used the arena's crystal formations as shields, wearing down the beast until exhaustion slowed its strikes. When it finally overextended, Marcus struck true, piercing the gap in its armor. The second trial tested wisdom. Marcus faced impossible riddles about Zephyrian culture, questions designed to make him fail. But months of conversations with Nyla had taught him more than books ever could. He spoke of honor, sacrifice, and the true meaning of strength. Even his interrogators nodded approval. The final trial was cruelest. Marcus was forced to watch as Nyla was tortured, her screams echoing. Through the chamber, "Renounce your love," Voss demanded, "and her pain ends." Marcus felt his heart breaking, but he knew Nyla's mind. She had told him that love without sacrifice was meaningless, that true partnership meant facing darkness together. "I renounce nothing," Marcus declared. "Love shared is love doubled. Pain shared is pain halved. We face this together." Nyla's eyes met his across the chamber, and her screams transformed into something else. Song. She was singing the ancient melody of Zephyrian bonding, the ritual that joined souls across eternity. Marcus joined his voice to hers, the human words harmonizing. With her alien song, the chamber fell silent as their voices created something beautiful from anguish. "Enough," Elder Voss commanded, but his voice lacked conviction. "No," said another elder, stepping forward. "They have passed all trials.
Ow.
By our law, they are bonded." The bonding ceremony should have been the end of their trials, but the universe had other plans. As Marcus and Nyla exchanged vows beneath Zirian's twin moons, emergency sirens wailed across the planet. The Krillian Empire, ancient enemies of both Earth and Zephyr, had launched simultaneous attacks on both worlds. This is no coincidence, Nyla realized, as reports flooded in. They waited for our alliance ceremony to strike both civilizations at once. Marcus was already moving, his military instincts taking over. "We need to coordinate our defenses. Earth's fleet is 3 days away. Zephyr's forces are scattered across the system." The war room became their new home as the next weeks unfolded. Marcus brought human tactical knowledge while Nyla provided understanding of advanced Zephyrian technology. Their love had created something unprecedented, a true partnership between species. The first combined battle was chaos. Human aggression clashed with Zephyrian precision until Marcus and Nyla took joint command. Their connection allowed them to coordinate like one mind and two bodies. When Marcus flanked left, Nyla knew to support right, and when she called for retreat, he prepared the counterattack. "Your people fight with hearts," Nyla observed during a brief respite. "Mine fight with minds. Together, we fight with souls." Most desperate hour came when Krillian forces broke through planetary defenses. Marcus led human marines in ground combat while Nyla coordinated aerial support. They fought back-to-back in the palace courtyard, covering each other as enemies pressed from all sides. A Krillian blade found its mark, slicing deep across Marcus's ribs. As he stumbled, Nyla's war cry shattered crystal windows. Her fury was magnificent and terrible as she defended her wounded mate. "You chose the wrong species to threaten," she snarled, energy crackling around her hands. Victory came at dawn, the combined fleet, arriving early thanks to Nyla's navigational improvements, caught the Krillian forces in a pincer movement. Earth's brutal efficiency merged with Zephyrian elegance created devastation no enemy could withstand. In the aftermath, as they stood among the wounded but victorious, Marcus pulled Nyla close. Her royal robes were torn, her silver hair matted, with sweat and dust, but she had never been more beautiful. "We did it," she whispered against his chest. "We did," he agreed, kissing her forehead. "Two worlds, two species, one love." The final ceremony was held beneath both suns, attended by representatives from across the galaxy. Marcus and Nyla had proven that love could transcend any barrier, that cooperation could overcome any enemy. As they spoke their final vows, promising to bridge worlds with their hearts, the universe itself seemed to approve. Both suns flared brighter, casting rainbow light across the celebration. Their first child would be born the following year, a bridge between species. But their greatest creation was already complete, proof that love, courage, and unity could overcome anything the universe offered, even death itself.